not the best location to film this, but I thought I could film out here because I can be loud and kind of express myself better than what I would be able to do inside. I'm so sorry about the sound because we're currently taking all of the trees and shrubs down, so there's a big old machine out there. My name's Elise, otherwise known as Well Dressed Historian on Instagram and TikTok and here on YouTube, but yeah, I thought that I'd take this time to reintroduce myself because it has been a very long time and kind of let you know what is going on, not just kind of in my life, but what to expect moving forward. And I know I've done a couple of these in the past, but let's just get started and I'll explain as we go. I was a historical seamstress that made lots of beautiful historical inspired clothing. I got started in 2013 and ever since then just had the itch and the love and the passion for making historical dresses. And boy oh boy, that really was my whole being and persona and just my everything for years. I lived and breathed historical fashion and looking at dresses and thinking, oh my goodness, I can make that in these movies, I can make that better, yada yada, all this stuff. There were many years where I just kind of got burnt out and took a little bit of a break. The last gown that I made was a hand-sewn 18th century dress. And it took me 3 months to do, and I think that was where I was like, yep, this is where I've peaked. I'm kind of getting tired of making content, funny content, and I don't know, I just got tired. It was just getting harder to feel interested and as passionate. So I did take a break. I took a break from social media and I took a break from sewing, and I focused on my friendships and my career. So I was able to focus more on my relationship with my husband as well. And I decided, you know, I don't think it'd be a horrible thing for us to start a family. Now, just so you know, for context, growing up, I never wanted to be a mom. Being pregnant scared the living daylights out of me, and I just couldn't, I just never imagined myself as being a mother. And so when I had this realization that, you know what, I love my husband so much that I would be willing to be a mom and be pregnant and all of that stuff. And also all my girlfriends were getting pregnant at the same time, so I was able to witness what a pregnant woman was like and the struggles of pregnancy, and I was able to observe all of this. And so I was like, you know what, that's not so bad, I can do it. And so in May of 2024, we got pregnant. I was pregnant with our son, and he was born in January of 2025. So we have actually just celebrated his first birthday, and I have decided, you know, last summer I really tried to get myself to sew and do some stuff for social media and try to get back in there and, you know, just being a new mom and trying to get used to this new way of life and taking care of a baby. It's hard, not gonna lie. It's a challenge. I think I was really just trying to grasp on and hold on to this idea that I had that, like, oh yeah, I'm a new mom, I can still do the things that I used to do before I had a baby, which was dedicate hours and hours and hours of sewing to create a dress, just one dress. And I just got to the point where it was really hard. It was hard for me to even acknowledge and come to grips with and even just be okay with that, you know, it's really okay. I don't have to do everything. Sewing, big projects like that can be put on the table for a little while, and it's not going to be the end of the world. I still have this love and this passion, but the reality is I just don't have the time. Yeah, so, but all that being said, in August of 2024, when I was pregnant, I think I was just in the middle of my second trimester. We bought this house and this land is a 1947 Cape Cod styled cottage, and it really needed a lot of work. Like the whole roof and the entire floor plan, it just needed so much work. The people who lived here, they had a lot of sentimental attachment to the house, and they just couldn't bring themselves to do any restoration or repair work on the house. There was a lot of issues with the house, but I don't recommend moving when you're pregnant or renovating top to bottom a whole house. For the most part, it is, I'd say, maybe 89% finished, and finished in the sense of caulking, trim, molding, all of that stuff is finished, and like the walls have been painted and the floors are done, but interior design wise, these rooms are still lacking. Maybe this channel can have a little bit of not just motherhood, journey, and life and all of that stuff, but interior design and all of that fun stuff. So tapping into all of these different things that I really do love and enjoy. Going from living in the city to having so much land and so much space and peace is so nice, which means I am having a garden this year, my very first garden. My mom has the green thumb. She tried to get me to go in the garden growing up and help her and all that stuff. I hated it. I didn't like it, my hands dirty. But now that I have a son who loves being outside, I figure this will be nice. Enjoy being outside, enjoy the produce and the crops that we get, and yeah, I'm really excited. I got a whole little journal here of all of the plants that we're going to be planning for this year, and just coming up, trying to come up with a design for how we're going to plant everything. We also have an orchard which needs some desperate attention. I'm so excited. There's so many things that I just can't wait to just dive into this year, and I want to document as much as I can. So yeah, we're going to be doing gardening, motherhood, interior design, lifestyle, and lots of baking and sourdough. So we are going to be a crunchy granola mom homesteader. Oh, and I also have chickens. Yeah. And 2 barn cats. So they're really sweet. So you'll get to see them eventually, but that's me now. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy this upcoming journey. I am really going to try to stay focused and try to get to do the content in the YouTube and try to make something of it this time. Hope you can join me and give me some fun tips, because tips are nice. So I'm gonna go inside because it's cold. It's so
Hey, buddy.
Hey, yeah, we're going to Edda.
Hold up. Oh, I set up a manipulator.
Do you want to look at the seats?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I got quite a few from Botanical Interests. We got quite a few flowers. Got some sunflowers and cosmos.
You got flower?
And we also got some Johnny seeds too. They're a little bit more expensive, but they had really excellent reviews as well. And I just got some of the things that we couldn't get from Botanical Interests. I have quite a big garden. Not big, but like a pretty good sized garden this year. Well, good morning. It is around 10:30 this morning, and it is a little bit chilly, but it's supposed to be a high of 62 today, which is wild because yesterday the high was 37. I don't know, Tennessee weather, man. I got my seeds in the mail yesterday, and I figured that today would be a great day to figure out where exactly I want to have my garden beds, my raised beds, as well as figuring out, all right, well, how much sunlight do we have to work with? I figure right here would be a really great spot. Now, I know you might think, well, over there's a good spot and over there's a good spot, but listen, this entire property has no direct sunlight. It is completely shady. Lots and lots of trees. I've got 2 walnuts. I got a big black walnut here and a small black walnut, but my orchard is over there. I just need to,
have a space where we could actually have some good direct sunlight. This spot of gravel used to be a garage that we tore down. It was really bad. It was dilapidated and falling apart. This is the only spot where I get some good daylight, sunlight, at least 8 hours a day. I think at least from here all the way to about here, which gives me about 6 or 7 feet of direct sunlight. So, and this is all winter shade and lighting and all that stuff. So, north is that way, south is this way. I think I might be able to have just 2 4x8 beds here. So, one here, and it's relatively close to my water source. Yeah, I think this should be nice. This should be good. And it would at least come to about here. We'll just have to see. This is kind of, I've never had a garden before, as I mentioned, so we'll just see. This is just going to be our preliminary trial year, and then we'll just see how it goes next year. But let's go back inside and figure out the spacing for how I actually want my seeds to lay in my beds.
I've already started plotting out an idea of how I want my garden to be this year. As I said, we're going to be having an 8x4 raised bed. I think we're only going to have 2 of them this year because it's my first garden. I don't really want to bite off more than I can chew. I'm very, very excited to actually get some life and color in the garden this year. Well, let me just get into planning this, and I'll touch base with you in just a little bit. Sounds good.
Yeah.
We'll bring it over here and give it to you. Come on.
Ladybug. Oliver. Ladybug.
Oh, look at that.
Good job. Just wash your hands.
Good afternoon. It is an incredibly dreary, wet, and rainy day today. It is so dark outside, but also really cold, which is ridiculous because yesterday it was like 60, and today I think it's like 30 something. Anyway, I just made some sourdough, so we're gonna let that rise for a little bit. Last night we got to go to my parents' farm and see their new calves. So one of their cows had twins, So Oliver got to meet the little calves just fresh, like a few hours old. He just absolutely loves animals, especially little animals that are about his size. So he just stomped his way over to see one of the little calves and was just yelling and squawking at them. And one of the little calves waddled up to him and got real close and was looking at him. So Ollie reached out and he did a little boop on the nose and just squealed with delight. So it was a very sweet moment. And so this morning we went and we checked on them as well. And so he was quite upset when we had to go inside because he was so cold. But yeah, that was very nice. Nice way to start off the morning. Yesterday I also finished up my design for my garden beds, which I'm very, very excited about. So again, I think we're going to be doing an 4x8, 18 inches deep, and we're going to be building them hopefully this weekend, which I'm very, very excited about. So here's the tentative plan, because you just never know how it's going to turn out. So here we go. I'm going to be incorporating some cut flowers into my vegetable beds as well. So maybe not the most wise with the space that I have, but I want some flowers. I would love to have some cut flowers. So here we go. We've got some sunflowers and zinnias and cosmos, as well as bee balm. And I've got my pea towers here, which they're not gonna be here. I'm gonna swap them out for tomatoes. I've got my shallots, my onions, and my carrots here. So this is just we're just gonna see how this is going to look type of garden. And while I was planning and plotting out all of these things, I was keeping in mind that I'm going to be doing some successive planting, which means I'll be planting one type of plant 1 week, and then 2 weeks later, and 5 weeks later, and so on, so that I don't have just one humongous harvest from this one plant in 1 week, so I can actually enjoy having produce from my garden throughout the summer. This is my second bed. I've got a really huge plot of potatoes, as well as marigolds and lettuce and other things like that, and this is where my pea tower is going to be. So that's the general plan, as well as sunflowers over here. So I did learn that there are some plants that you cannot mix and put in the same bed as the other plants. So yeah, I did fix that, but I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this year. So hopefully, now that baby boy is sleeping, we do have an appointment that we have to keep, and so I really don't want to have to wake him up, but I think I'm going to have to go upstairs and wake him up in a few minutes. Tomorrow, hopefully I can start taking down some of my Christmas tree decorations and some of my greenery, which is going to be so sad, but I think it is time. I don't have a big plan for dinner tonight, so I thought we were just going to have some rice and some fresh rotisserie chicken. So this is a chicken that my family and I processed and raised last summer. So I think we're just going to season them up and throw them in our Instapot just for a little bit.
Good morning. It's snowing. Good morning. It's bright and early and it's already snowing. It's snowing this morning. We didn't have anything on the radar saying that we would be getting flurries, but we are indeed. So it's very chilly outside, which means probably another indoor day. Maybe we'll go to an indoor play park so we can get some energy out. But I did just get my sourdough out of the oven and it looks very good. But I think we're going to do either eggs or maybe French toast with this bread. So let's go ahead and get some food in the belly. Yeah. Look at this, babe.
Oh, yum. Let me see. That's how fluffy I like the bread. Mmm. Yum, honey. Yum, yum, yum. Yum, 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 yum.
Say goodbye to our lovely little Christmas tree. It was really fun decorating and doing a little something different this year. Lots of ribbon, but we also had a theme for this year of being a traditional heritage Christmas. So my husband is Russian and my family is Scandinavian, so I did a little research and found the traditional methods of decorating a Christmas tree, as well as the different meals to have on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Last year we left the tree up until March, but in our defense we had a new baby and the twinkle lights were the only thing that baby could see. So, but we also got to continue enjoying the tree, but it's definitely time. So while baby is napping, I'm going to try to get a head start on taking some of the decorations down.
We're just checking out the cows and hopefully going to determine if they're going to have another baby. Are you going to have a baby? Yeah. Hi.
We just took a little break from disassembling the tree and we're going to start making dinner very soon, but we went over to my parents' place to see if any more baby calves have made an appearance and they have not yet. So came back and made a little snack and we're going to have hamburgers for dinner. Yeah, so we got a whole freezer full of a cow that we bought and it's so much. So we still have quite a lot of ground beef that we need to go through and use up. So burgers it is tonight. We'll have that with our leftover sourdough bread and hopefully I can make some more for tomorrow.
Monday. Okay. The thought was Swiss or Yorkshire pies.
So I just put baby boy down not too long ago and I'm tired. I'm ready for a cup of tea and I think I want to sit down and read my book. That sounds really nice and relaxing. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I know this is kind of different from the kind of content that I used to make and the kind I'd still like to make, but just the reality speaking, I just don't have that kind of time to just make a dress and upload it and be funny and all that stuff. I think it'd just be really fun to just share a little bit of my life with you. There's definitely going to be still some sewing in the future, lots of baking, experimenting with more sourdough, and gardening of course, and some interior design and other homey, cozy things, and also maybe a little bit of homesteady stuff, which I really enjoy. That's really fun to me. I'm gonna make my tea and I'm gonna wish you good night, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day and or evening, whatever it is for you, and I'll catch you next week, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye guys.